1-1, Laurel Mighty. 1-3, By Fury. 1-8, Boo Boo. 2-5-5, Twisted Transistor. 4-1-9, Scam Likely. 5-1-1, Wheelie Nelson. 5-5-6, Sweaty Malls. 6-5, T-Rex. 6-6, Lightning Thrash. 6-8-7, Skatey Gaga. 7, Russet. 8-08, Marty McFly. 8-9, Fanny Smack. 9-1-9, Buck Hustle. 9-2-4, Speed Rita. And 9-3, Lady Novocaine.
And skating for Texas Rollergirls, we've got 007, Hot Pepper. Number 12, Milagritos. Number 19, Smart Alex. 1945, Juicy Cooter. 2113, Delirium Trigger. 218, Impact Play. 237, Blue Jay. On the line, we've got Speedo. 337, Meg Ryan. That's Lee Jammer, Speedo. 412, Mayhem West. 48, Spread Eagle. 72, Hell's Kitten. 76, Liberty Bell Ringer. 82, Marizi Livin. 826, Metallica Breath. And 99, Battlestar Galactica. That's the call off by Speedo. No points across the board.
Bi-Fi with a great stop there, making sure that Speedo didn't score any points on that jam.
Tell you what, that's hard to do, keeping Speedo stopped.
And they were all racing, so I'm impressed. We got Wheelie Nelson on the line for Minnesota.
And up for Texas, that's Milagritos.
Both jammers fighting against good tripods. Each team sending someone back for some offense.
Milagritos getting bumped out to the outside line. Gets to come back in real close to where they went out. And Milagritos takes lead jammer.
Laurel Almighty headed to the box on a direction call. A Texas blocker also heading to the box. Each team going to be down. Wheelie Nelson pushing at the front of the pack.
That's a scoring pass for Milagritos. 4 points up for Texas. Milagritos finds a hallway on the inside line. And 4 more points up for Texas. And the call off by Milagritos puts Texas on the board for a total of 8.
So dangerous for Minnesota staying in the box as the pivot. So they'll be starting one down. Twisted Transistor on the line for Minnesota.
And up for Texas, we've got Meg Riot. Meg Riot to the inside line. Meg Riot to the outside. Meg Riot around for a... Oh, not quite, but there it is. Meg Ryan, lead jammer.
That's going to be Sweaty Malls with the drawback, forcing the Texas jammer to call it.
Double donuts once more for both teams. Sorry, that's an old way of saying nobody scored on that game.
It looks like Texas is getting 2 from
2 points up. I spoke too soon.
I have not heard double donuts before.
It just makes me hungry.
That's fair. All right, we got T-Rex on the line for Minnesota.
That's Hell's Kitten jamming for Texas.
Bi-Fi is going to be holding down the box for Minnesota, so 3 blockers, but T-Rex getting lead on the inside.
That's the first lead jammer for Minnesota.
I can be louder.
Hell's Kitten through on the initial. No points up for Hell's Kitten. Let's waiting for the total for Minnesota. Looks like 3 points go up for Minnesota.
Lady Novocaine returning to the box for Minnesota. Lady Skatey Gaga on the line for Minnesota.
And that's number 48, Spread Eagle, jamming for Texas.
Texas finding a hole on the outside with a little jersey whip from a friend.
We always get by with a little help for our friends.
And Skady is out.
Texas Jammer calls from the floor. 3 points up for Texas.
Lady Novocaine is iced in the box and is standing, which means she has less than 10 seconds until she can return to the track. Boo Boo is going to be jamming for Minnesota.
Boo Boo will be jamming against Speedo once more. This is a repeat of the first jam of the game. Like to say hello to our folks on the Twitch stream.
Both jammers running into some fierce tripods out there. Speedo getting lead jammer status.
Correction, that is Minnesota taking lead jammer status. Speedo taking a track cut and heading to the box.
My apologies, there was a lot happening.
There was a lot happening there in turn 2. 4 points up for Minnesota.
Minnesota hoping to really take advantage of this power jam to close that gap. We're already at 7-13. Let's see how else this is going to go. 4 more on the board for Minnesota. Boo Boo fighting against all 4 Texas blockers as the Texas jammer is released from the box.
Those Texas blockers not giving an inch. It looks like a washing machine up in there.
Speedo, though, finding some speed on the outside, out on their initial.
Looks like 3 more points going up for Minnesota. No points for Texas on that jam.
Look at that. It's our first
lead change.
Willie Nelson on the line for Minnesota.
That is number 12, Milagritos, once more for Texas.
Bi-Fi playing some great offense for Willie Nelson, who picks up lead jammer.
Milagritos clear on the initial, courtesy of a star splash.
We missed an apex jump. 4 points for Minnesota with a quick little hop and then calling it.
Milagritos held scoreless on that jam. Brings our total to 13-18 in favor of Minnesota.
Twisted Transistor going to the line for Minnesota.
And once more we see Meg Riot.
I do believe this is the same mashup as before, too.
Indeed.
It's like they have the same jammer rotation.
They have a very similar number going on here, which could work in someone's favor. They could learn their opponent's style, and that would force the to switch up. Twisted Transistor picking up lead jammer.
Well, this is going to turn into a race. I know officials really appreciate it when the pack takes off with no warning.
Twisted hits the back of the pack and calls off the jam, puts up 1 more point for Minnesota.
So speedy.
Indeed, that was some awesome legwork.
T-Rex back on the line for Minnesota.
Looking at Hell's Kitten jamming for Texas.
Each team has all 4 blockers, which is a rarity so far in this game.
Hell's Kitchen taking lead jammer for Texas. This is the first lead jammer in 3 jams for Texas.
Coming up to the back of the Minnesota pack. Potato trying to hit out on the inside.
Hell's Kitten fighting hard to get past those blue blockers. Off is forced. 2 points up for Texas on that jam.
Skady Gaga heading to the line for Minnesota.
I'm sorry, that is spread eagle once more for Texas.
Again, we have a full complement of blockers.
That box, I'm gonna jinx it here. That box has stayed miraculously empty the past few jams.
That's Speed Rita trying to play some offense on the line.
And
for
Texas
Gaga.
taking lead jammer.
Gaga fighting at the front of the pack and is out on her initial.
We got a multiplayer block call being assessed. Who's taking a seat? Looks like a Minnesota blocker taking a seat in the penalty box.
That's going to be Lady Novocaine in the box. And then Boo Boo headed to the line for Minnesota.
I see Speedo wearing the star for Texas. Once more, we see a similar jammer rotation.
Both teams seen success with this rotation, so it'll be interesting to see if they mix it up.
It was changes happen, but right now it looks like a washer as Speedo takes lead jammer. That's 3 in a row for Texas.
Minnesota playing some quick O to get Boo Boo out on her initial, but Speedo threw for 4 points and calling it. We're looking at 23 Texas, 19 Minnesota. Wheelie Nelson headed to the line for Minnesota.
That looks like Milagritos for Texas. They could, if they change jerseys around, they could trick me. I don't know them that well. I see Metallica Breath blocking for Texas as well.
Wheelie Nelson trying to find some room on the outside, but catches a shoulder. Lady Novocaine coming out of the box and playing some offense. Wheelie Nelson coming out with lead jammer.
Very nice blocking there by Lady Novocaine.
It looks like we have a star pass. As soon as I can see a number, I'll let you know who the new jammer is.
That new jammer is Delirium Trigger. Delirium Trigger, a prolific blocker and jammer for Texas.
Wheelie calling it off before Texas has a chance to score and did pick up all 4 points.
Looks like we've got a tie game once that scoreboard updates. If my math is correct.
Don't ask me to do math.
I can only do math 4 points at a time.
How did you survive jammer points?
Oh, 5's even easier.
All right, Twisted Transistor on the line.
We got Meg Riot jamming for Texas.
Minnesota is down a blocker, so dangerous in the box as the pivot. Texas out with lead jammer.
Yep, that's Meg Riot with the finger pointed at her.
But Twisted not far behind and a very speedy jammer, so we'll see if she can close the gap.
And the pack speeds up. 4 points up for Texas on that pass.
T-Rex heading to the line for Minnesota.
T-Rex will be taking on. That is Spread Eagle once more.
So Dangerous is standing in the box, so Minnesota is going to start with 3 blockers.
Ooh, let's see if that blocker advantage does help out.
Oh, a nice little spin move. And Texas is out with lead jammer, but So Dangerous is released from the box. Little pile up on the outside.
Haven't quite made it into turn 1. Someone's headed to the penalty box. That's the Texas Jammer. Spread Eagle headed to the penalty box.
Do you know what this means?
Power jam.
And it's going to be a 2-minute jam.
T-Rex out on the initial end, available to score.
See what Minnesota can do with this advantage at the moment. Got some offense being played. T-Rex pushing against 2 at the top, hoping to hit that out of play here soon.
Metallica Breath letting her go. 4 points up for Minnesota.
Texas Jammer released from the box and back in the game, though. So Dangerous headed to the box on a low block.
T-Rex cycling back to the rear of the pack. So Dangerous taking her seat.
Speed Rita attempting to get the cut, but I'm not quite sure it was quite quick enough.
No, I don't think it was. 4 points go up for Spread Eagle. Little Apex hop for Spread Eagle, and that's 4 more points. Big block there by Speed Rita. Takes Spread Eagle to the outside of turn 3.
T-Rex is out and coming back to the bench because the jam is over.
Woo! 1 point, 1 more point for Texas, 4 more points for Speed Rita. That puts us at 31-35 in favor of Texas.
So I'm looking at the penalties right now. Looks like Minnesota has 8 total, while Texas has 4.
And I'm looking at jammer penalties in particular. It's 1-1, so pretty even on jammer penalties.
Skatey Gaga out there right now for Minnesota.
Hills Kitten jamming for Texas.
Gaga fighting the tripod at the front and is able to get lead jammer. She's coming around, but Texas is setting up with a good tripod in the back. Gaga fighting 4 white blockers.
I do not envy that positioning, not one bit.
It is like the ultimate sad place, honestly.
It is. It's the place to work.
Gaga making quick work of it, though, and getting 4 points for Minnesota, but the pivot is out. Marty McFly headed to the box for an out-of-play block.
And a start pass for Texas sees number 19, Smart Alex, jamming.
Gaga calls it just in time. Texas not putting any points on the board, and Gaga putting an additional 3, which I think the total will be 7. Look,
the total is 7. You did math.
I did math.
Yay! And oh, guess what? That is a lead change.
This is a 2-point game, and we got 12 minutes left. Boo Boo on the line for Minnesota.
And I can't see a number, but I'm guessing it's Speedo. Yes, indeed, that is Speedo. For Texas, I'm a good guesser.
Speedo with lead jammer, found some space on the outside.
Speedo not quite hitting 100% on that jammer record, but awful close.
Ooh, a very good dip to the outside. Boo Boo out.
That is a trick I learned from Speedo once when I used to skate, was how to do that dip. I used to actually be okay at it.
Speedo putting an additional 2 points on the board for a total of 6 on that jam. Boo Boo with 0.
That brings us to 42-38.
And we have a clear penalty box. Wheelie Nelson on the line for Minnesota.
And that is Meg Riot once more for Texas.
Both teams having the same idea of a pivot line start. Wheelie finding some room and lead jammer. Had 1 blocker to beat. Texas is out, but Wheelie is lead jammer.
Wheelie got swallowed. Yes. And the call off by Wheelie. No points there. We call that double donuts in the biz.
Twisted headed to the line for Minnesota.
And that is Milagritos once more for Texas.
Penalty box still clear.
You know, it would be sad if the penalty box was sponsored and we'd have to say the so-and-so penalty box is still clear because we have to get our sponsors in. Twist Transistor takes lead jammer.
Again, Texas setting up with 4 in the back, which we've talked about is really tough for jammers.
Delirium trigger on the jammer takeout there against Twisted Transistor. Twisted right up again, though, back into the action.
Finding some space and squeezing through 2 blockers were 4 points.
We've got a helmet cover pass now to Texas, and that is Liberty Bellringer jamming now for Texas.
Twisted calling it, getting 3 points before Texas can put anything on the board.
Once again, we've got a
Lead change. T-Rex back on the line for Minnesota.
Oh, new number. Oh, wait. Nope, that is Spread Eagle once more, donning the star for Texas. My notes are a mess over here trying to keep up with the fast action of this game. We're doing okay, though.
Both jammers trying to go to the outside, but blockers are ready for them.
Lead jammer assessed for Texas and Spread Eagle.
Texas jammer coming to the back of the pack. Fighting a tripod at the front, now 2.
And a little twirly twirl move, and that's a track cut for Spread Eagle. Leaves us with a power jam.
I do believe it was a high block, actually.
Was that a high block? Okay, I thought I saw that. Different sign.
So we have another power jam. That will be a 2-minute jam with Marty McFly jamming now.
There was a helmet cover pass.
Marty for 4 points, making jamming look easy.
It's not. It's deceiving, isn't it?
It is, it is very tough work. I'm trying to think of nice things to say about jamming. But Marty clearly having some success putting 4 more points on the board.
Little jammer blocking action happening in the back at the rear.
Malls with a good push out, dragging back Spread Eagle.
Marty through the pack, 4 more points. Hello, McFly.
For Texas as well. Pivot turn jammer number 19. That's going to be Smart Alex. Marty fighting in the back against the 4 Texas blockers. T-Rex trying to give some offense.
We got 4 Minnesota blockers up front, but that's 2 minutes. 4 points go up for Minnesota, 1 point for Texas.
That is, right now, a 12-point jam for Minnesota.
That is the highest jam of the game so far. Looks like we've got an official review. I would say this official review is brought to you by, but at this moment we don't have any sponsors. If any of our Minnesota Roller Derby sponsors are listening, we are absolutely taking donations and checks for sponsorship. So, thus far this game, we have seen 4 lead changes.
And I misspoke. It's a 16-point jam for Marty McFly.
I thought my math was a little off, but
I'm tired just thinking about it, though.
it is. It's been a very exciting game. We've seen 4 lead changes, several power jams, not as many star passes as you'd think, but quite a few star passes. The strategy of each team changing and being dynamic while maintaining their play style.
Also, looking at penalties, we only have 1 blocker sitting on 4, which is going to be Minnesota, so dangerous.
Ooh.
However, Texas only with 5 penalties, but 2 of those being jammer penalties.
Very clean game, but yeah, in terms of jammer penalties, Texas is slightly ahead.
We have 7 minutes left in this period, and we are on jam 19, going into 20.
Yep.
And we will hang out to see what this official review is about. All right, people are returning to their places. We have no information about what the official review is. We're just watching.
But
All right, we got the deets. About to spill the tea. So Texas was looking for a low block on jammer Marty McFly from Minnesota near the end of that jam. The no call will stand. Speedo on the line for Texas and Skatey Gaga on the line for Minnesota. Speedo getting dragged back by Buck Hustle. Both teams fighting against a tripod. Skatey at the front. Skatey got one blocker to beat before lead jammer. Oh, gets forced out on the inside.
that was beautiful. And Speedo takes it.
But Gaga working at the front again, one last blocker to beat, and is out on her initial.
Gaga with a huge grin on the face. I always love it when you can tell they're having a good time. 1 point up for Speedo on that pass.
Boo Boo coming back to the line.
And on the line for Texas, that is impact play. First time we've seen impact play this game.
Again, both teams have a full complement of blockers. I think the teams are getting their wiggles out, figuring out the floor and the reffing crew.
For sure. Impact play being declared. Lead jammer.
Bi-Fi trying to do some work at the front of the pack, though. Now coming back and playing offense for Boo Boo. Boo Boo out on her initial. Impact play with a apex jump. We'll see if points are awarded.
4 points went up for impact play. Must have been successful. 52-61 in favor of Minnesota.
We have Wheelie Nelson on the line for Minnesota.
And that is Meg Riot for Texas.
Again, the penalty box is clear.
The penalty box is clear. And Meg Riot takes lead jammer.
Wheelie Nelson close behind. This is going to be another race, I think.
I think you may be correct. Let's see. Oh, and a referee takeout. Everybody okay over there?
Bacon the question, doing a barrel roll. Looking unfazed, stretching it out.
Double donuts in terms of points.
There are no points for hitting a ref. Did you know that?
No points for hitting a ref. Gosh darn it. I thought it was 10 points automatic.
We have Twisted on the line for Minnesota.
That's Milagritos once more for Texas.
Both jammers trying to find some room on the inside. Twisted getting out with lead jammer, but Texas jammer getting recycled by the Minnesota blockers.
They're going to have to let Milagritos go on the initial. Someone taking a seat from both teams in the penalty box. So 3 blockers all. 4 points go up for Twisted Transistor and the call off.
So we have Minnesota. I'm assuming that's why Twisted was waiting to call it to try and bleed off some of that time. There is also a Texas blocker in the box. Team starting with 3 blockers. T-Rex on the line for jamming.
And that, my friends, is Spread Eagle for Texas.
Minnesota doing a tripod in the back. T-Rex out with lead jammer.
Nice footwork there by T-Rex. Netted that lead jammer status for her. Once again, we've got a jammer foot race as the track speeds up. 2 points up for Minnesota.
I feel like the last couple of jams, if you're in the ref lane, you are a target.
It is danger zone.
All right, Boo
Cue
Boo.
the Kenny Loggins.
Boo Boo headed to the line for Minnesota.
And that is Speedo once more for Texas.
Both teams still down a blocker, but they're both standing. So they have to hold on. Boo Boo finding some room on the outside. Lead jammer. Speedo fighting against the tripod.
All blockers on the floor. All blockers on the floor.
Texas doing that 4 defense in the back again for that scoring pass. It's been working really well for them.
It has. Speedo stashing the star and getting through on the initial.
Russet with a great hit out on the outside, preventing Texas from scoring.
That was a beautiful, clean hit, ballet in motion.
I am just impressed with how low scoring this game is and how many jams we have. 25.
25. Tell me about it. I'm running out of paper on the front side of my score sheet.
Wheelie Nelson on the line for Minnesota.
And once more, we see Meg Riot jamming for Texas.
Wheelie Nelson headed to the box for a high block. That means this is a power jam for Texas.
Uh-oh, Meg Riot's going to take advantage of this one, I bet. Let's see if those Minnesota blockers can take over and keep Meg Riot back.
It just looks like a big blob over there, like everyone's trying to play offense and defense all at the same time. But Texas out with lead jammer. Minnesota with a good penalty kill.
Meg Riot goes out to the inside line, drawing back behind Laurel Mighty. Once again, we welcome the Twitch feed.
Laurel Almighty headed to the box. I didn't see what the penalty was.
Oh.
And then 2 points for Texas. Timeout for Texas.
This timeout brought to you by our jam line. I kid. This has been a very interesting game. It's kind of not going the way I expected it to go. I expected it to go one way or the other very clearly, very quickly. And I'm glad to be proved wrong. I hate announcing for blowouts. I hate announcing for games that run away. It's not very fun. But it looks like both teams are having a great time. Lots of good derby being played.
It's only a 16-point difference, and like we've seen earlier, that's one jam.
That's one jam, easily. And it looks like that timeout leaves us with 2 seconds left on the clock. So it's going to be on to jam time if we can get this jam started, or on to intermission.
So that means we will have 27 jams in this period. That's a lot.
Ooh, that is a lot. That's, as a skater, that tells you that they're running very quickly, very strategically.
Twisted on the line for Minnesota. That whistle means it is the end of the timeout. No more breaks.
Impact play jamming for Texas. No more timeout. Twisted Transistor take it to the inside as Impact play takes lead jammer status.
Bi-Fi headed to the box for an out of play. Was hoping the team was bridging for them.
Delirium Trigger with the apex jump. Nets 4 points for Texas.
Twisted fighting against 4 Texas blockers while Marty and Scam trying to play some quick offense.
Impact play through the inside line for 4 points in turn 3.
Twisted out on her initial.
Impact play with the call off, putting up 3 more points for Texas. 2 points went up for Twisted Transistor in Minnesota on that jam. brings our total for the half. 72 Minnesota, 65 for Texas. We will see you guys back in about 14 and a half minutes.
All right. It looks like we have about 15 seconds left of intermission.
Like to say hello to the Twitch chat. Hello to Nikki Tricky Savvy. Miss ya, girl.
Boo Boo already on the line for Minnesota, ready to get things going.
Uh-oh, looks like Speedo once more for Texas.
Is that our same mashup from the first half?
Indeed it is.
I can see why they stay with it. Each team getting success.
It is working. Speaking of working, that whistle means back to work, folks. Oh, wait, we're having fun. This is a fun game.
Oh, a little bit of chicken there, seeing who was going to go first. Both jammers running into their tripods.
Track cut being assessed there against Boo Boo. Leaves Speedo with a power jam. Speedo, dangerous jammer to have a power jam.
Also, this is going to be a 1 minute power jam because Boo Boo got assessed 2 penalties.
Ooh.
1 for the cut and then 2 for failure to leave the track.
Ouch. It's old fashioned right there. Speedo getting the signal from the sideline. Apex jump for Speedo, 4 points.
It's going to be interesting to see how Texas capitalizes on this very rare event.
Well, looking at the scoreboard, those 8 points of Speedo has already netted us another lead change. That's like 5 for this game.
Speedo looking for some offense from their Texas blockers. Minnesota able to reform into a strong tripod.
Call off from Speedo. 3 more points up for Texas.
Texas choosing to ice Boo Boo in the box.
Total is now 76-72 in favor of Texas.
Texas going to start with a power start here as Boo Boo is in the box, but Minnesota having all 4 blockers.
That's Meg Riot with that power start.
Minnesota choosing to do a 2-and-2 defense.
And it works out for them very well. Holding Meg Riot back just after the penalty line. And boop, box into lead jammer.
There's also a Texas blocker headed to the box.
That was number 76, Liberty Bellringer. 4 points up. We've got a tied game once more.
Twisted getting hyped up by the sidelines on her way to the jammer line.
Twisted being joined there on the jammer line by Spread Eagle.
This is a new jammer mashup.
This is a new jammer mashup. See, that jammer penalty kind of messed up the groove we were in. Let's see what happens. Twisted transistor to the inside line.
Russet and Malls doing some very good 2-on-2 blocking there.
Twisted transistor taking lead jammer.
Star pass to Texas pivot.
Texas pivot sliding into turn 2.
Twisted through for 4 points on the inside while the Texas pivot getting recycled to the back by Marty.
That is Smart Alex, by the way, being jammer of record. Twisted transistor through the pack once more. That's 12 points so far. Let's see what happens. Whistles being blown, multiplayer block being assessed on to Minnesota.
Russet being the last line of defense, having to let her go.
Smart Alex through on the initial. And Twisted Transistor decides to call it off. 2 more points on the board, however. It's a 10-point game, 86-76.
Willie Nelson on the line for Minnesota. Minnesota down 1 blocker.
Uh-oh. I see Hills Kitten on the line for Texas.
Texas is also going to be down a blocker, so we'll see who gets out first.
Let's see. They went in at about the same time, so it'll be close. Whoa.
Oh, looks like we had a little bowling there. And wheelie out, but not lead. No pass, no penalty.
Pass, no penalty. Lead jammer still available there for Hell's Kitten. Hell's Kitten declared lead jammer.
Texas trying to tell the jammer to call it. Didn't want to interrupt all of the communication.
Right.
It was one of those rare situations that even though you weren't the first jammer out, you still got lead.
You still got lead, exactly. Waiting to see point signal. 4 points for Minnesota, 76 to 90 in favor of Minnesota.
T-Rex on the line for Minnesota and Speedo for Texas.
This is the first time we've seen this pair up as well.
I'm kind of liking the new mashups.
It's neat. Different strategy in play with Minnesota taking lead jammer.
A little tumble up front with Speedo, but Speedo able to get out and is not lead. T-Rex getting a very nice, calm call off from Irma from the bench and able to put 4 points on the board with that jam. Boo Boo on the line for Minnesota.
And that is impact play for Texas. Impact play just the third time up this game.
Texas taking a timeout.
Nice time for a little breather. Time for the announcers to take a look at that penalty board once more. Nothing big happening just yet. We had a couple on Texas's side. Looks like we've got one at 4.
Minnesota also has one at 4. Texas just catching up a little bit on the count, but overall kind of equal shares.
Even Stevens. Even though there's nobody here named Steven that I know of.
I'm waiting for someone in the audience to go, I'm Steven. Also, Rainbow Spite.
Yes, Spite.
Spite. I almost said Sprite.
I get that a lot.
That's okay. I don't know if you know, but each team was given a set of bingo cards with Minnesota stuff on them.
Ooh.
So we're trying to encourage all the visiting teams to come talk to us.
Ooh.
And they're going to ask us questions like, what is the Great Minnesota Get-Together? What is Lefsa? What is Lutefisk? And we're hoping that people ask us.
Oh, well, being not from Minnesota, I'll have to ask you these questions on the sly so that I can know the answers.
Some jammer snuggling happening on the line there.
That was a bit of a cuddle huddle. Impact play to the inside. Impact play going out on the inside. Recycling. Back block being assessed on Boo Boo. Leaves impact play with the power jam. And impact play takes lead jammer. Impact.
Almost.
Go ahead.
I was going to say almost a little apex hop there, but Minnesota able to push her out.
Impact play with those long legs. It's less of a hop and more of a big step.
Must be nice.
Must be nice. I got little legs.
Same.
4 points go up for impact play.
Boo Boo back on the track. Still going to be on the initial, though.
Still on the initial.
Texas doing that 4D in the back. It's like a jammer's worst nightmare.
It is, especially with that tight wall work. Oh, my goodness.
All you see is a wall of backs, and as a jammer, you're like, where do I even hit?
Yes, where's the seam? Let me find a good seam.
Boo Boo with some really good toe stop work on the outside, out on her initial.
And the big call off by impact play. Okay, I'm good.
So Minnesota's sitting at 94, Texas at 84. We've been staying in that 10-point range.
Really, and it's not been the same team each time. It's been good lead changes too.
The penalty box is clear with Willie Nelson on the line for Minnesota.
Meg Riot with the star for Texas. Oh, Willie Nelson, lead jammer. Oh, did you hear the Minnesota oop come out?
I did. Okay, that's on the bingo card too.
Meg Riot clear on the initial.
Willie Nelson trying to get as many points as possible before she calls it. 0 for Texas, 3 for Minnesota.
I think Texas might have something to say about that.
You read my mind.
Oof. Here we go.
Twisted on the line for Minnesota.
And that, my friends, is spread eagle once more for Texas.
Oh, nice open inside line. Good job, Minnesota, with the offense.
That's the jammer's dream right there.
I'm hearing a lot of whistles. Somebody is going to the box.
Uh-oh. That's a Minnesota blocker headed to the penalty box. Who is that?
I'm still hearing more whistles. So
I did hear some more whistles. 4 points go up for Twisted.
And a Texas blocker heading to the box as well. Looks on a direction call.
Successful star pass for Texas leaves Delirium Trigger in the driver's seat. No points for Texas on that pass. No points for Minnesota on that last pass.
And Minnesota bleeding another blocker to the box.
For those of you playing at home, Minnesota has hit the century mark. That's 101 to 84. Have a sip.
T-Rex on the line for Minnesota.
That is Speedo once more for Texas. Speedo taking lead jammer for Texas.
But T-Rex very close behind.
Ooh, gonna be a race to the line now.
I'm interested to see if they're gonna run this to try and get their blocker out.
Looks like that's a negative. No points for Texas. 2 and 2.
You get a point, I get a point.
It's all good. Let's wash it out.
And each team now has a blocker standing. Minnesota still has one blocker sitting, so they're still going to start it at a disadvantage with Boo Boo on the line.
Milagritos for Texas. This is the first time we've seen Milagritos for Texas this half. Looks like they got a good break.
Laura and Danger trying to hold down. We got a hit out and Danger recycling the jammer back.
Milagritos all the way back to the jam line. Minnesota taking lead jammer. Boo Boo on the wheels.
Oh, we have a little bit of a pile up on turn 2.
That was turn 2.
Boo Boo gonna call it with 1 point on the board.
1 point counts. No points for Texas on that last pass.
And with a bout like this, that 1 point could come in really handy later.
Indeed. I see Meg Riot on the line for Texas.
And we have Willie Nelson for Minnesota.
We've seen this matchup before, I think. Yeah. I could read my handwriting, I swear. Meg Riot at the front of the pack with 1 to beat. Goes to the inside line. Going to recycle to the rear of the pack.
Wheelie out with lead jammer.
That was some tenacious blocking work there to the Texas blockers, though.
Looks like that was a foiled apex jump. Someone's heading to the box. Looks like a Texas blocker. Bi-Fi playing some great O for Wheelie to get through on that scoring pass.
Bi-Fi looks like impact play to Flavor Town. I'm sorry, that was Blue Jay.
I think Wheelie just did a straightaway jump.
I think they did. Wheelie went out, but so did the blocker that pushed her, so that's all good. 4 more points up for Wheelie.
You know, this is also a pivot's worst nightmare. You take the pass and it just keeps going.
It does. Speaking of, who's that jamming? That's Smart Alex for Texas. I totally missed it. Thanks for mentioning it. They were sneaky. 3 points up for Wheelie, makes a 15-point jam.
That is the second highest scoring jam of this game.
And unfortunately for Smart Alex, no points on that pass.
I'm feeling a little bit of a momentum change. I'm excited to see if Texas is going to take this and swing the other way.
I could make a joke, but I'm not going to. It's not family friendly. Spread Eagle on the line for Texas up against Twisted Transistor. Let your imagination do the work for you.
Yes, I mean, it is Pride Month. I feel like it would be okay.
That is Spread Eagle with lead jammer.
And Twisted out on the initial, going to be skating fast to try and catch up.
Big jammer takedown there in turn 1.5. That was no points all.
I'm not seeing any points getting put on the board for Texas. Oh, 3. There was some consultation going on.
Consultation happening. That is A-okay with me. You betcha.
All right, we have T-Rex on the line for Minnesota and Speedo for Texas.
Ooh.
We got a clear penalty box as well.
Oh, 80 wheels on the track. That's trouble.
Each jammer trying to go to the in and out and find out where that hole's going to be, but running into blockers. But T-Rex out with lead jammer.
Some trouble there for Speedo with Marty McFly on the block there, bracing that wall. Oh. And
Looks
the
like
star has fallen.
Texas looking for the star pass, but looks like they lost the star in the process. I hate it when that happens.
Bad handoff.
T-Rex fighting really hard against the tripod of Texas blockers who are doing a great job not making her life easy.
That star pass now successful. Jammer of record is Blue Jay. Not that it lasted very long.
See, that's what a pivot wants. You take the star, you make it a half a lap, and you call it.
Yeah.
All right, we have Boo Boo on the line for Minnesota, and then Hell's Kitten
That is
for
Hell's
Texas.
Kitten. Yeah. Very excited to see this matchup. Oh, come on.
There's a
Hell's
huge
Kitten finds the
matchup on the
outside
line.
Oh, wow. While Minnesota was finding a matchup on the line, Hell's Kitten found the outside and took lead jammer.
Texas looking like they are doing a 4 defense up at the top. Kitten running into some issues in the back with the tripod from Minnesota.
Uh-oh. Texas coming through once more. Not lead, being signaled not lead jammer. I guess lead jammer is open? I missed something important.
Oh, Kitten just got served to the outside by
Ouch.
somebody. I did not see, but Laurel is doing the drag back with Speed Rita.
Okay, there is lead jammer is Texas. And we've got a star pass for Minnesota. That is so dangerous now, jamming for Minnesota. No points for Minnesota on that pass. Looks like, can she twinkle?
4.
4. With the white wristband and the pale fingers, it blends into the back wall, and sometimes it's hard to see.
We have Twisted on the line for Minnesota.
Looks like impact play once more for Texas.
Both jammers that can easily step over that apex like it's
Yes.
a walk in the park.
Height advantage jammer this go around.
Jammers fighting against tripods. Each team trying to provide some offense.
Little twirly move there by Impact Play. Nets lead jammer.
That was
beautiful
so
toast
beautiful.
up work, right?
Yeah.
Twisted on the other hand, brute forcing through. It was great too. Just totally different techniques on that one.
Texas calling that off quickly before Minnesota could score any points, giving 2 to Texas, 0 to Minnesota.
And Texas chipping away at the lead held by Minnesota.
Texas changing the tide here, 2 points, 3 points at a time.
Sometimes do it.
Exactly. We got Wheelie Nelson on the line for Minnesota.
And that spread eagle for Texas. Wheelie Nelson goes to the outside, has to cycle back. I see bodies hitting the floor as spread eagle takes lead jammer.
Laura Almighty trying to slow down the jammer in the back. Wheelie Nelson stuck on a good tripod of Texas blockers, but now is out on her initial.
No points up for Minnesota on that pass.
And none for Texas either, it looks like.
Huh. Texas hits the century mark. Take a sip if you're playing at home.
This is easy math that I can do.
Yes.
We have T-Rex on the line for Minnesota.
And as they turn around, it is Impact Play once more for Texas.
Is that not a quick turnaround?
That was a very quick turnaround. Normally Texas is running 3-4 jammers in between. Impact Play got one jam down.
Makes sense. Impact is having a great jamming day. I would put her out too. She's scoring points.
Absolutely. Impact again with the twirl, but it takes her to the inside line. Going to cycle back behind Minnesota's pivot.
Bi-Fi trying to break up that 4 wall in front for T-Rex.
Impact Play to the inside once more. That's Marty McFly on the drawback. Apex jump there by Impact Play, but not successful. Bi-Fi on the drawback that time. She came real close though.
She did, and she got up from the ground smiling, so.
Yeah.
Great offense from Bi-Fi that gives T-Rex the lead jammer status.
1 minute in with no lead jammer.
Oh,
that is some work in there. That is when your legs start to feel like acid's running through them.
I just whisper into the blocker's ears, be like, please let me go.
Yes, you know you want to. Impact Play with the hop again.
But Bi-Fi ready to receive them after and force them out on the inside.
Is that T-Rex in the front? Or is that, yeah, that's T-Rex jamming for Minnesota. 4 points go up. That's a hard fought 4 points.
Yeah, it is. Impact also fighting hard for her initial.
Impact clear on the initial at last.
T-Rex deciding to call that after a very long jam. 5 points total for Minnesota and burned a lot of time off that clock.
It did. And I think maybe that was part of the point, is to kind of burn that clock down. At the same point we were last game at this time, we have done at least 6 fewer jams. So these jams are running longer. That is Meg Riot jamming for Texas.
And Boo Boo for Minnesota.
And Meg Riot takes lead jammer.
Boo Boo fighting against one more Texas blocker and out on her initial. Big hit by Meg, taking Laura down.
Meg Riot getting the signal to call off and does. 4 points up for Meg Riot, brings Texas to 104.
7 minutes left in the game with Twisted on the line for Minnesota.
Speedo rolling up for Texas.
And a clear penalty box. I got to say we've had a much cleaner half as well.
Absolutely. I've noticed that as well, which is a good thing and a bad thing and a good thing too.
Speedo racing up that outside, but Twisted not that far behind. I've seen a Texas blocker going to the box for a forearm.
Little straight jump there by Speedo and the call off. 3 points go up for Texas.
Wheelie coming out to the line for Minnesota and spread eagle for Texas. Texas is going to be down their pivot.
Wheelie around the outside, taking
Wheelie making quick work of that tripod at the front, but spread eagle not far behind.
I couldn't even come up with words for how pretty that was. Quick call off by Wheelie there. 3 points go up for Minnesota.
And 2 points for Texas. It helps to be speedy.
It do.
Texas pivot is still in the box and isn't standing. So that means that last jam was less than 20 seconds.
That was fast. On the line, we've got Hell's Kitten for Texas up against Boo Boo.
Boo Boo fighting against the tripod in the front. Scam likely trying to give some offense real quick before going back to her tripod.
Texas Pivot has rejoined the pack. Texas Pivot trying to whip Hell's Kitten around, try to get some momentum going there. Nothing doing, says Minnesota blockers.
Boo Boo out as lead jammer. I was very confused what was happening in that turn. It was anybody's game.
It was anybody's game until it wasn't. And then we've got a helmet cover pass for Texas.
And a successful apex jump call off by Boo Boo, giving them 4 points for Minnesota and 0 for Texas. We have another Texas blocker in the box. Texas starting with 3, Minnesota with 4. Twisted Transistor on the line for Minnesota, jamming.
That is Meg Riot for Texas. 2 different jammer sizes, 2 different potential strategies.
Twisted out as lead jammer.
Very nice. Looking to see where Meg Riot is. Meg Riot is trapped in a wall of blue, but stays in bounds. Just barely. Gonna have to let her go, and that's the initial.
On that last jam, I saw Lady Novocaine run to the front and was so excited to be there, and then heard the out of play and just was like, "Aw, can't touch." Wheelie Nelson on the line for Minnesota. Impact play coming in as well for Texas.
There we go.
Texas still with a blocker in the box. These jams have been going so quick, people aren't getting out of the box.
No, they're not. It's one after another after another. It's some pretty fast play going on here.
Texas blocker that was in the box came in and played some right from the box, which, jammer's dream right there.
Oh,
Thank
yeah,
you.
it was beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Impact play, trying the inside, getting knocked to the inside field.
Texas blocker back to the box for a direction, trying to get their jammer out. Power jam for Wheelie Nelson. Impact play on the way to the box on a cut track.
And Wheelie Nelson takes lead jammer. Puts Wheelie in control of the power jam, in total control of the power jam. Doesn't have to be 2 minutes unless Wheelie wants it to be.
Correct.
If she really wants it. But
Minnesota holding one blocker in the back, trying to give Wheelie less people to deal with.
Smart Alex rejoins the fray.
Texas Jammer back in play. Minnesota tripod ready to block. Sorry, it's just so good to look at. My brain stopped.
There was an attempted sure rip there by Impact Play. Didn't really avail her. But Impact Play does make it through on the initial. Call off there by Wheelie. Oh, no, that was time.
I do believe Wheelie called it off.
It was real close if it was.
Yeah.
I was looking at Impact Play, and I should have been looking at Wheelie at the time. And sometimes I wish I had two heads to announce with.
Yeah.
But we would argue with each other. It'd be great.
It looks like we're actually going to have an official review here. And I'm wondering.
I wonder. Let's see what happens now.
I have a guess.
This time out brought to you by Texas Rollergirls. Because they're the ones who called it.
Perfect. We like to say that the Jammer line is sponsored by whatever anti-anxiety you're on.
Oh, let's see. Venlafaxine, amitriptyline, and Abilify.
We are sertraline friends around here.
Oh, yeah. Coach Smash Effect not looking happy about what they had to talk about. Big ups to the track maintenance squad. Woo! Once and future announcer Chip Achooth with a skip on that one.
You got to have fun in what you do, right?
Absolutely. You got to enjoy it. Otherwise, why? Why?
So while we're waiting for the deets on what Texas is asking for, is anybody in the audience wearing Minnesota Gopher apparel?
Gopher apparel.
Yes. The Minnesota Gophers is the college team for the U of M.
Oh.
It's on the bingo card.
It's on the bingo card. Okay.
All right, we have T-Rex on the line and Spread Eagle.
Yep.
It looks like there's still a huddle going on in the middle, so...
Yeah, still happening going on.
I think we're just really, really ready.
Oh, here comes the official. I love your polish. All right, so Texas Rollergirls was requesting a back block on one of the blue blockers. Did not catch that number. No call will stand. And while we were talking, multiplayer block occurred and lead jammer was awarded to Spread Eagle.
A white blocker.
Metallica
Texas.
Breath.
Yep, Texas is headed to the box for a multiplayer, I do believe.
Yes, that was a multiplayer signal.
I'm
Whistles raining
whistle.
down. Not seeing what's going on, but I see hands going. There we go. T-Rex through on the initial.
Having a power jam, though, because Spread Eagle headed to the box.
Uh-oh. But this is going to be a 2-minute jam as well.
So Dangerous going to the box on a back block.
So Dangerous headed to the penalty box. 4 points go up for Minnesota. T-Rex tries the outside hop, misses, and has to come back.
Texas Jammer back in, hitting a tripod of blue blockers. T-Rex fighting against 4 Texas blockers, but finding space on the outside and is going to put 4 more points up. But remember, this is a 2-minute jam, so it will go to the conclusion of the clock.
Oh my goodness, Spread Eagle tried the best to try to keep inbounds on that one, just couldn't hold it. Momentum got the best of her.
Each jammer fighting against 4 blockers.
Then we are officially on jam time. This is the last jam of the game. 4 points go up for Texas and Spread Eagle. And that is the game, folks.
All right, there was being a penalty assessed at the end. Everybody has to report to the box because we have not blown the official whistle yet.
We are waiting for the officials to make the official score finally official.
11 points for both jammers. Waiting for the whoop-dee.
Waiting to see. And there it is, y'all. 156 to 120 in favor of Minnesota. Nice. Let's hear it from Minnesota Nice as they take their lap of honor.
What a hard-fought game for both teams.
That was a really, really hard-fought game. I will admit to having enjoyed every minute of it.
Oh, it was fabulous.
And the Texas Chainsaws.
So the Minnesota A team and the Texas A team will face each other tomorrow.
Tomorrow, right. Minnesota versus Texas happens at
4 p.m.
4 p.m. I can read. Our next game comes at 5 p.m. Stay tuned, and we will see you then.